Well, IRB Infrastructure is the next management on the show. The company's toll collections rose 30% to almost 481 crores in March. Also, in the IRBAV Tollway versus the NHAI case, the Arbitral Tribunal has ruled against the company. To discuss more on this, we have Tushar Kawedia, who is the Group CFO of IRB Infrastructure, who joins us now to talk about that. Tushar, thanks a lot for joining us. First, I want to ask you a little bit about the toll collection, right? Can you give us an update on that? Year on year, what is the growth that we're looking at in FY25? What's your prediction? And also, there are some reports on toll stoppages because of some unrest. Have any of your collections been impacted because of this? If yes, what's the update there?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And good morning to all. So if you see our performance for FY24 on the toll collections, where we have seen a good robust growth month on month, and the year by ended with almost 24% annual growth from a group perspective, which includes the private InvIT asset as well. And for the month of March, it was almost 30% growth on a YOY basis. Looking to this performance and adding of the new assets which are from the NHAI side, that is TOT 12 and 13, which commenced its operations from the April 1. These two assets will start contributing to the toll collections in the next year. And looking to the past performance on the toll collection, we expect a good robust growth for the FY25 as well. And as such, we have seen that the GDP expected for next year is around 7%. So which leads to a traffic growth for us, and corresponding there will be a tariff hike with link to inflation, which we expect around 4 to 4.5%. So considering both the parameters, the growth is expected around 10 to 11% of the for the next year, FY25. Now coming to the obstacles, we have not seen any obstacles in our collections. The collections are going fine across all projects. There is no hindrance on the toll collections, and they are operating very smoothly. One thing I want to update on our performance for the last year, that this whole year FY24 was remarkable for us, considering be it toll collections, be it acquisition of new assets. We were able to acquire a couple of TOT assets, which bring us to the largest TOT share in the country with 37%. We have
Tushar, we'll get to individually each of these in just a bit from now. Good morning, Prashant here. A great performance, really. Could you, but if I can sort of ask you to comment on this, the long pending case in terms of the traffic diversion at AV Tollway. Is that a bit of a setback? Can you sort of contextualize that for us?
Yeah, sure. So if you see, we have got the arbitral award yesterday only, and we were also being saddened with the award. So looking to the award, if you see, our claim was with respect to the competing facility to the particular stretch, and which was the claim was filed for from the year 2015-16, when we have seen this competing facility has come up parallel to our stretch. Now, if you see the arbitral award, the award has already has considered this competing facility, but the year which they have considered is 2019 instead of 2015. So looking to our claim, which was relating to 2015-16, the timelines is something which is now the basis of contention in the court of law, where the claim is already being
Tushar, what was the size of the, what was the amount under dispute?
So amount of dispute, when we say that amount of dispute was due to the competing facility, say around from 2015-16, it was close to 1,000 crores, but it is a continuous claim which will exist for every year, because this facility is already treated as a competing facility even by the arbitral tribunal. Now,
no, so this is, you said 1,000 crores or 2,000 crores? I missed that number.
No, 1,032 crores, which was since 2015-16, which was filed in as a claim in our in the arbitration claim itself, and which was for a particular period. Now, this is a continuous claim which will be for a year-on-year basis, and looking to the order as such, the arbitral tribunal has already agreed that there is a competing facility, but due to technical difficulties, since the compensation compensation documents were not available the computation document were not available. The award was without considering
Denied.
that aspect and denied. And this leads us to a strong case, a prima facie strong case to challenge in the High Court, where we will put forward our case basis our computations for the claim, considering this as a competing facility.
So you will be filing a counterclaim in the higher courts, and you're hopeful that you will be granted that compensation of 1,032 crore. What's the timeline for that?
So again, we have the legal remedy available with all the advice of our legal counsel. We will take this forward, and we will, in due course, we will be taking this in the courts as well.
What is your current order book? We have the update as of December 31st. Moving on to business now, 36,200 approximately. What does the number stand at? And what is now the executable order book over the next 2 years?
So if you see our order book with addition of this new TOT stands at 36,000 crores, and the executable order books for next 1.5 2 years is around 10,000 crores, which includes an EPC order book of 7,000 crores and balance towards the O&M order book of the projects under the operations.
And your L1 orders, what does that stand at?
We are just waiting. There is a good pipeline from NHAI available on the BOT space, where we have a lot of expertise, and we are the largest in that particular space. There's an ample opportunity coming from NHAI side, and 2 trillion of assets worth of assets is expected to come for bidding in next 1.5 2 years, and we are quite confident to get couple of them with the added advantage of having partners like GIC and Centra, and also the healthy balance sheet what we have today after deleveraging ourselves. So that leads us a more competitive edge compared to others, and we will be more benefited with this strong balance sheet going forward for new biddings as well.
But Tushar, the awarding by the NHAI has been a bit muted, right? In FY24 at least. How much has it been so far? And what is the BOT projects that will be coming up for bidding?
So as of now, if you see, due to the code of conduct, the bidding was slightly slowed down. But if you see, they have already shortlisted the assets which are going to come for bidding. We expect in few months these assets will come up for bidding. Out of this 2 trillion, we have seen 30,000 worth of assets are already had come for bidding, and the balance will come in a phased manner, which we believe should be there in 1.5 2 years of time.
Okay, all right. We will leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. With respect to the claim, the arbitration claim, I just want to point out one more thing, that the project is doing good, and it has shown almost 12% kind of revenue growth in last 2 to 3 years. And considering that aspect, going forward, we should be comfortably meeting our debt obligation. In fact, the premium obligation in the balance concession period, which is expected around 20 years from now. And if at all, if you see the valuation of this particular asset in our whole valuation of IRB, it's quite minuscule and non-significant, because what we have seen, the analysts are just giving a weightage of around -1 to ₹3 for this particular asset, and without factoring any arbitration award in this case. So as such, we don't see any impact of this order as such on our valuation.
Just one quick question. Can you take us through the entire process of the secondary stake sale that happened in the private InvIT? How were the valuations arrived at? And what does the entry of Ferrovial mean for InvIT prospects? Does funding become easier? And will you look to aggressively target more?
Yeah, so if you see the confidence of our investors, which include the strategic investor like Centra, that continued, and we have seen this deal happening at the private InvIT level, where they are acquiring the stake from GIC of 24%. And with the valuation, what they are paying, there's a price is 67 billion for the acquisition of 24%. What we have seen, the valuation, just doing the maths, it's like for the 10 assets which were part of, which were operational, it was almost 2.5 times to the book. And with that kind of valuation or the fair deal, we see that the total valuation considering all assets would be somewhere around 400 to 480 billion. And looking to that size of valuation, where IRB owns 51%, it gives a fair value for the IRB stake as well. So this platform itself has been valued by the strategic investor, and they want to participate in the growth platform where the value was created since the time it has been created last 3-4 years back.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in and all the best. That's IRB Infra.